Hey guys, welcome to a new flight here in Microsoft Flight Simulator X. Today we will fly a long-haul flight with a Boeing 747-400, also called the Queen of the Skies. And for today's flight, the aircraft is of Delta Airlines, because today we will fly the flight with the flight number Delta Airlines 578. So today we will fly from Tokyo to Honolulu. And here in Tokyo we will depart at the airport Tokio Narita International. And here at this airport we will depart in the evening. Our scheduled time of departure is 7 p.m. local time. Then it will be 10 o'clock UTC. And in Honolulu we will arrive early in the morning. Our scheduled time of arrival is 7:54 a.m. Then it will be 17:54 UTC. And our flight distance of this flight today is about 6,000 kilometers, and the flight time will be around about 7 hours. So, and now I would say we can start with all the preparations for this long-haul flight today. So let's get into the cockpit of the Boeing 747-400. Everything is at cold and dark state at the moment, so we first need to start with the pre-flight procedure. And there the first step is to turn on the battery. So let's do this now. So we have to look here up towards the overhead panel, and there's the battery switch. So let's first open the battery switch guard, and then we can press this button to turn on the battery. And now we also need to move this switch to auto, the standby power selector to auto, so that we now have some electricity here on board. So the next step we can do now is to turn on the position lights, which need to be turned on while we are here at this gate. So let's have a look. Where's the switch for the position lights? There it is. So the navigation lights or position lights, it's the same, are turned on now. And the next step we can do now is to connect the external power to get enough electricity here at this gate. So therefore we need to get to the FMC, have a look towards the FMC, and here we need to get to SimU, then to the next page, there to ground support, and here we can select ground power and then connect the ground power. So, and now in order to take electricity via the ground power, we also need to turn external power 1 and external power 2 to on, so that we now take electricity via the external power and not by the batteries. And now there should be enough current to use all systems here of this aircraft. So as you can see, at the moment we have 9 o'clock 27 UTC, so we still have 33 minutes left until we need to leave this gate here. But this should be enough time to leave the gate on time. So the next step then is to put the bus ties to auto. We have 4 bus ties here, so all 4 switches go to auto. Then we put the 3 IRSs to nav. First the left IRS, then the center IRS, and also the right IRS. And the next step is to copy our last position into the set IRS position here in the FMC. So we go back to the menu and then into the FMC. And then we go to the ident page, but we can also directly go to the next page to position in it. And here we copy the last position and put it here in this field where it says set IRS position. So now the aircraft should be located. It takes about 2 minutes until PFD and ND then will work. And now we can open some doors and request the catering and boarding. So let's use this FMC to open the doors so that we can leave the FMC here. And here we can go to the SimU page, and here to the next page to doors. And let's open all doors we need to open now. So first I think we need to open the entry 1 on the left side, and on the right side also entry 1, I think. And then on the next page we can open the entry 5 on the left side and also on the right side. On the left for the passenger stairs, and on the right side for the catering vehicle. And also we now open the cargo doors forward and after. So then let's get outside of the aircraft, and we can now request the catering services. So let's open the menu of GSX, and there we can request the catering services. Yeah, I hope that the let's choose Japan Airlines. I don't know who is the handling operator here at this airport in reality, but yeah, it doesn't matter whether we choose Japan Airlines or All Nippon Airways. Yeah, I don't know whether the catering vehicle drives to the first or to the second door on the right side, but yeah, we will see then when the catering vehicles arrive to which door one of these catering vehicles drives to. And we can also now move the jetway towards the first door. So let's operate the jetway so that the passengers can board via the jetway later on. And here you can see the passenger stairs are moved towards the rear door on the left side. So then let's get back into the cockpit. Now we have 30 minutes left until we need to leave the gate, so that we leave the gate on time then, and I think this should be possible. So now we can put all information that's needed for this flight into our board computer, into the FMC. So let's go to the route page and we can type in every information for the route today. So I activate the keyboard input, and I also saved the airways and waypoints we need for this flight today by using a company route. So let's load them into the FMC by typing in the code of the company route. It's first the ICAO code of the airport Tokio Narita International. It's Romeo Juliet Alpha Alpha. And then the ICAO code of the airport of Honolulu. It's Papa Hotel November Lima. So then there needs to be a 0 and a 1, and this comes here to company route. Now we can also type in the flight number for today. As I said, it's Delta Airlines, Delta Alpha Lima, and the number is 578. So perfect, this comes in here. And now we can choose our departure and arrival. And therefore we first need to contact ground of Tokio Narita International. But before we do that, we will first listen to the latest weather information here at the ATIS. So we'll probably get runway 34 right or 34 left for departure today, yeah. So then we need to contact ground to know which of these two runways we will get for departure. So let's now contact ground on 121.850 and request direct departure. Yeah, we have weather information November. We listened to it just a few seconds ago, and it's runway 34 left today. So we can have a look now where runway 34 left is. Alright, so let's answer and we have a look outside now. Oh yeah, there are the catering vehicles now, and the one here in the front drove to door number 1 on the right side, so we opened the right one. So let's have a look from the bird perspective. Maybe we can see which runway is that. No, I can't see which number is there. But either it's this runway or that runway, but I think we will get this runway here because it's closer to our parking position. Let's have a look at the heading. At the moment we have heading 060, so it should be, this should be runway 34 left, probably. Yeah, this should be the runway where we will depart today here at the airport Tokio Narita International. So then let's get back into the cockpit and we can select the SID for this departure today. So we choose departure, and as we now know, the departure runway is runway 34 left. So we choose this one, and the SID we will choose for this departure is Cupid to departure. This one will be our departure route, our standard instrument departure route for this departure today. So we choose this one and go back to the route. Now it's inserted into our flight plan, and we also select our arrival now. And I hope that the runway, the active runway for landing at the airport of Honolulu will not change during our flight. But if it changes, then we will select another approach then when we know what is the active runway at the airport of Honolulu. but probably it will be runway 08 left for our landing today. So we do an ILS approach to runway 08 left, and the perfect star for our flight today is Buki 8 arrival, and we have to select 2 transitions. First we have to choose the transition Buki, which is here, and also the transition Cannon, which is here. So that's everything we need to select for the arrival, and this also comes into our flight plan, and we now can activate it and execute everything. So perfectly. Now we have our route in our FMC. We can go on with the performance in it. But before we go on with the performance in it, catering services are completed. Perfect. Then we now can request boarding, so that boarding will start soon and that the ground services are finished as early as possible. So, but before we can go on with the performance in it, we need to put the necessary amount of fuel for this flight today into the tanks of the aircraft. At the moment they are completely filled with 100% of fuel, but we do not need as much fuel. Today we need 81 tons of fuel. At the moment there are 173 tons of fuel in the tanks, in the fuel tanks of the aircraft, but we do not need this much of fuel. So we go in the sim menu to refuel and payload, and then to refuel. There we select total fuel, and here we can type in the desired amount we need for this flight. So it's, as I said, 81 tons, 81.0 we need to type in here. This comes in here, and we can press this button next to set, so that we now have 81 tons of fuel on board. Perfect. That's the amount of fuel we need for this flight today. So we can return here and go back to the doors page, because we need it afterwards when all the other services are completed. We can now close the doors where the catering vehicles drove to. I think they should be away now, and you can hear the passengers boarding now. They are welcomed by our flight attendants. So then we can now go on with the performance in it. First we put in the zero fuel weight. It's 235.3. Reserves for this flight today will be let's activate the keyboard input. It's easier to type it in then. So will be 8,000 kilograms, so it's 8.0. Cost index 45. Cruising altitude, we'll first climb to altitude of 350, and maybe later on we will do a step climb and climb to a higher cruising altitude. So then we go to thrust limits. Today we won't do a normal takeoff, we will do takeoff 1, so we do not need maximum takeoff thrust during takeoff, because the runway is long enough to use takeoff 1 today, and also we'll do climb 1 today. So let's go to the takeoff page. We use flaps 20 as always with this aircraft for takeoff. Here are our V speeds. We rotate at 149 knots, and now we can also calculate the center of gravity. It's 26%. Therefore we use a trim of 5.2 for this takeoff today. So this should be everything here we need to. This should be all information we need to put into the FMC for this flight today. So CDU pre-flight is completed now. Maybe we can turn on some lights here in the cockpit, because it's getting darker now. The sun sets now, and yeah, we'll fly through the night today, and then in the morning, when it's already when it's already daylight, we will then arrive in Honolulu. So, but I think the background lights are already turned on automatically. Yeah, I think just a few minutes ago they were turned on, so we do not need to turn them on. But maybe we can turn on the storm light, but the dome light is already turned on, and I think, yeah, it's already turned on. It was turned on automatically, so we do not need to turn on any lights. We will turn off the dome light and when we are on the taxiway. So let's go on with the next steps. We need to move some switches here in the overhead panel. So first we need to set the utility power to on. Utility power, where is it? There we have it. Left and right utility power go to on. Then generator control. These are these four switches, one for each engine. All go to on. And the engine pumps. These are these four switches, go to on. again, one for each engine. No, it's the hydraulic demand. It's the wrong one. Oh, it's the wrong one. They need to be turned off at the moment. We will turn them on later on. These switches, I mean. These are the engine pump switches. These need to be turned on now. So then we go on here in the middle of the overhead panel. Maybe we can choose another view so that we can see everything better. So there we need to do the following. Yeah, we could turn off the fuel pumps now, but yeah, let's leave them turned on, because in just a few minutes we would turn them on again. So we will now turn on the window heat. We do this here. Jaw damper. We need to turn on the jaw damper. It's probably at the top there. Yeah, there it is. The upper and lower jaw damper. So then the trim air, we turn it on. Then upper and lower recirculation are turned on as well. So I need to get to the next page. So there it is. We need to turn on the gasper now, and also the humidifier. It's right next to the gasper. So then the pack control selectors for all 3 packs go to norm, but I think 2 of them will be turned off later on when we start our engines, and then turned on back again after the engine start. So left and right isolation valves here go to on. We will turn on the APU bleed air. We need it for the engine start, and also turn on for all 4 engine bleed airs. The beacon is set to off. We will turn it on later, and we now did everything we need here in the overhead panel and can get to the glare shield. There also some changes need to be done. So there we need to set the actual altimeters. Let's leave it in inches, I think, is this setting, and not hectopascal, because the other one is, I think, is I think it's for this flight it fits if we use this setting, I think. So let's keep this setting. Then in the MCP we turn on both flight directors on the left side and on the right side, and also arm the auto thrust. So we can also press now the traffic switch, so that all traffic around us will be displayed afterwards here in the ND, when we also have turned on the TCAS then. But we will do this then first when we are close to takeoff. So now we put the auto brake to RTO, so that the brakes brake in case of an rejected takeoff. Then we also turn on the no smoking signs and set the seatbelt signs to auto, and are finished with the pre-flight procedure and go on with the pre-flight checklist. So let's say the oxygen is tested in 100%. The flight instruments, heading and altimeters are set. Parking brake is set, and the fuel control switches of all 4 engines are turned off. Oh, there's another aircraft landing at runway 34 left. It's a 767-400. Maybe we can already see of which airline. Maybe it's Delta Airlines. It looks like Delta Airlines, or doesn't it? I think it's a 767-400 of Delta Airlines. And there's another 747, as you maybe noticed, also here next to us there. Another 747 of Delta Airlines. Maybe it also flies to Honolulu, or to another airport in the United States, maybe. So here we are back in the cockpit. Pre-flight, everything for the pre-flight is done. We can go on with the before start procedure now. And I think we can, we really should be able to leave the gate on time. We have 15 minutes left, and we are just finished with everything that needs to be done before we can go on with the pushback. So that looks great today. So we need to set some things here in the multi-control panel MCP. So from left to right we will go here through the MCP. First we need to set here to IRS the V2 speed. It's 162 knots. So let's put this in here. So that is 162 knots. We can arm LNAV and VNAV. And then we set the runway heading here. It's probably around about 340, something like that. Should fit. Yeah, that's good. That's good. That looks good. And here we set our cruising altitude, flight level 340 first, maybe then later on during this flight we will do a step climb. But this we will see when we are at when we reached our top of climb. Then when we then will do a step climb later on, it will be displayed in the progress page. So then we now have a look back towards the overhead panel. Now these 4 knobs are moved on our aircraft. And Etihad Airways A72 landed just several seconds ago, but maybe it's landed on the other runway 34 right. So we turn on all 1 to 3 to auto, and number 4 goes to aux, and later on also to auto after the engine start. And so yeah, there the sun sets, so we will depart in the direction of sunset. So oh no, that's another aircraft. It's an A330 of Etihad Airways, and there's the other aircraft, and I think it looks like Delta Airlines, or yeah, it's a 767 of Delta Airlines, and the other aircraft, the A330 of Etihad Airways, landed just some seconds before the Delta Airlines arrived. The 767 of Delta Airlines arrived. So all the baggage of our passengers are loaded into the belly of the aircraft. That's great. So the ground services are completed with their work. They finished everything they need to do. So let's have a look back to the overhead panel. The fuel pumps are now all turned on, but that says pressure, so maybe there's nearly no fuel in this tanks. Maybe we can have a look. Where is it? Fuel. So that we can see, yeah, there's in the center and stabilizer tank there's no fuel, so we can leave the stabilizer fuel pumps and center fuel pumps turned off because there's no fuel, so they are not necessary today. So the beacon now goes both, and this is a do you say clear sign or something like that? There we are now getting closer to engine start. Oh, I do not get this switch to both. Always goes to lower, but I want to get it to both. Yo, yes, now there it is. At position both, so the beacon at the top and the bottom of the aircraft should be turned on. Why does the dome light now? Is the dome light now turned off? I don't know. And hopefully it will turn on later on, but I don't know why it turned off. Yeah, we will see. So now we can go on with the before start checklist. The flight deck door is closed and locked. We can also close now all other doors here around the aircraft. Yeah, and we can remove the jetway now because all passengers are boarded. So yeah, I don't know why the dome light of the cockpit now was turned off. We are not able to turn it on again. Yeah, we will see. I hope we will be able to turn it on later on. So now all entries should be closed. Then the next step is to have a look at the passenger signs. They are turned on. The MCP, V2 heading and altitude are set. Takeoff speeds are set. They are here in the PFD and also here in the FMC. We can see the takeoff speed. CDO pre-flight is completed. The trim we need to set now, it's 5.2 for takeoff. So we can have a look at here. Here we can see the stabilizer trim. It's at the moment at 5. It looks like it is at 5.2, somewhere like this. It looks good, so we can leave it like this. And yeah, let's say the taxi and takeoff briefing is completed and the beacon is at both. We can have a look from the outside. And yeah, here are the position lights, the green light on the right wing, the white light on the back of the aircraft, here on the left wing the red light, and there you can also see the beacon on the top and also on the bottom of the aircraft. Where is it? Yeah, there it is. The beacon is working. Perfect. So now we can go on with the yeah, start of the APU, so we're getting closer to our pushback. We have 10 minutes left until we should leave the gate so that we can leave it on time. That's perfect. So now let's start the APU, the auxiliary power unit. Therefore, to start it, we have the switch right here. And now we need to wait some seconds until the APU runs. Then we can turn on both APU generators and disconnect the external power, because we then get electricity via the auxiliary power unit. We can also put the press the meter switch so that we know the altitude in meters also. What does it say here? Hydraulic pressure system 1, trim air off. So should we turn trim air off? Maybe let's turn it off. Have a look whether the message gets cleared. I never saw this message before. But why did all the lights turned off? Don't know. Maybe let's turn off the beacon and whether they then turn on again. No, they don't. Yeah, I don't know. Oh, have a look. Now they are turned on again. Yeah. Don't know why they were turned off. Let's turn off the dome light. Yeah, now we can control the lights on our own. Yeah, I don't know why it didn't work. So, but now they are turned on again. That's perfect.